Hi, I'm Annie Sleece, and I'm on the staff at NAMI Delaware. This is a part of a discussion series focused on back to school community resources. We're talking with state agencies who work to support youth and families in Delaware. But before we start, I'd like to give you a little bit of background about NAMI Delaware. NAMI stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are the Delaware chapter of the national organization, which is the largest grassroots mental health organization in the country. There are NAMIs in every state and hundreds across the country. If you're outside of Delaware, you can find your local chapter of NAMI by visiting nami.org. NAMI Delaware offers support, education, and advocacy to those affected by mental illness. Not only those who are diagnosed, but also those who care about them. You can learn more about NAMI Delaware by visiting our website. And there you can also see resources that are related to mental health that are available in our state. Just click the Education tab and select Resources. NAMI Delaware is not a crisis response agency, but there are resources available to you 24/7 should you or a loved one need immediate crisis support. You can text DE to the National Crisis Text Line, or you can access Delaware's Hope Line through the number on the screen. Today, we're talking to Ken Livingston and Dr. Orrin White from the United Way. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us.
Hi there.
Good morning.
So thanks for taking a few minutes during this busy back to school season to talk with us a little bit. So could we start maybe with the roles that you have at United Way? Tell us your job title and a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Well, my name is Ken Livingston. I am the director of Get Delaware Reading with the United Way of Delaware. Our Get Delaware Reading is an initiative in which United Way of Delaware is working aggressively with the Delaware Department of Education, various Delaware school districts, and other key implementing partners in the community to deploying Get Delaware Reading to increase the proportion of Delaware students reading on grade level by third grade. Some of our core focus includes school readiness, after school and summer learning, home libraries for students, increasing school attendance and school connectedness for students, SEL programming for students, as well as family engagement opportunities.
Terrific.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Orrin White. I serve as the Director of College and Career Success at the United Way of Delaware. And simply put, at United Way, we know that the opportunity is this for some, but not for all. We believe that too many children live in poverty and too many families live in crisis. We are really fighting to maximize community resources and improve the quality of life for all Delawareans, specifically for young people who call high-need areas like Delaware's Promise Communities home. Unfortunately, they are much less likely than their peers in more affluent communities to be prepared for college, the work world, and or entering into service. United Way of Delaware is engaged in a range of partnerships that are aimed at ensuring middle and high school students are workforce ready when they transition from the secondary and into the post-secondary. And we achieve this through fostering equity in Delaware's Promise community by ensuring that these communities receive appropriate investments and other community-based resources, ensuring that adults and providers who impact students in Delaware's Promise communities have the knowledge and developmental asset inventory necessary to enhance a child's development, and finally, partnering with aligned community-based organizations who share our agenda and believe in and support work-based learning aligned with adaptive assets to graduate with the knowledge and skills that's necessary to be successful in their next steps beyond graduation.
Thank you. That's fantastic. We're so grateful that you're taking a few minutes with us.
Yeah.
So it's been 18 months of COVID, and it's affected everybody clearly, but I wonder, how has it affected this amazing work you're doing, Dr. White, with the education team at United Way? Has it really played a part in the way you're able to deliver your programs or changed anything?
Yeah, Eddie, that's a great question. I would say 2020 was a year unlike any we can remember in recent history. And this has been largely due to the global pandemic known as COVID-19 and the cascading impacts of this pandemic on virtually all of our sectors, economically, financially, but most importantly, at the educational systems around the world. In March 2020, Governor Carney made the difficult decision of closing Delaware schools in an effort to flatten the curve of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, while these preceding 18 months have been marred with its fair share of catastrophe and misfortune, new partnerships and innovation in the education space have presented opportunities to provide real value and transform education, leveraging the game-changing role of community-based partners in the after-school and the out-of-school community, preparing all students to thrive. Notably, what I would like to call out would be the call volume on our Delaware 211 helpline, which jumped 25% in call volume during COVID-19. Now, what is Delaware 211? It's our statewide information and referral service that provides Delaware residents with an easy way to get connected to help with essential health and human services. Also, in response to COVID-19, United Way of Delaware lengthened weekday service hours for this hotline and added weekend service to ensure that we were able to serve all Delawareans to and through the pandemic. Also, what I would like to call out is the development of the Delaware Racial Justice Collaborative. It is a collective infrastructure that is using its resources to really pull together community-based initiatives that promote racial equity and social justice for all. The DRJC is comprised of 200 plus individuals representing nonprofits, community organizations, and businesses across the state that are focused on those specific issues. These specific initiatives will be fueled through community feedback and developed in partnership with grassroots leaders, civic leaders, and community organizations. Finally, the interdisciplinary and community-based strategy that was developed from DRJC, we were able to provide immediate technology, connectivity, tutoring, out-of-home instructional settings, parent supports, and a wide range of wraparound social services. And what does this sound like, Annie? This is Chromebooks for over 400 students, internet connectivity for over 300 families through February of 2022, full out-of-home COVID-19 school day support through our Learning Pod Collaborative, which I'll talk about in detail a bit later, a provision of year-round K-12 virtual tutoring support through a partnership with FAME, which is the Forum for Advancing Minority Engineering Incorporated, and then remote learning and referral services for families through our Delaware 211 Press 4 hotline.
Wow. I am so impressed by everything that you just said. I feel like we don't have enough time to talk about everything. It's very exciting to hear the amazing work you're doing. And thank you so much for sharing a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
But our focus today remains in the back to school space and specifically to some programs that are really terrific that I want to highlight. So the first one I want to ask you about is to Ken. You're working on some parent engagement sessions. Can you talk a little bit about those programs?
Yes. The program sessions are titled A Conversation with Parents. And these sessions were really just born out of the necessity to hear the parent voice. I had been attending a lot of workshops and forums, and, I was hearing from a lot of educators and a lot of well-renowned individuals, but the one thing that was missing, in my opinion, was the voice of the parent. So these sessions were created to provide an open forum and a safe space for parents to convene and just be able to talk about life experiences, best practices around parenting. And then we also provide information on what resources are available to them, not just through United Way of Delaware, but also resources that are going to be fostered through our dynamic community partners. So over the last several months, we've been convening every fourth Thursday of the month from 6:30 to 7:30, just a quick 1 hour to just touch bases with the parents, provide some additional resources, and also have some fun as well, just to take off of the stress and strain that we've all been going through the pandemic. And just, we know how that's had a toll on us mentally as well as physically. So these sessions also give us the opportunity to check in on parents and families mentally, just to see how they're doing, what's needed for them during this time, and then how can we be a critical support to them during this time.
That's incredible. And you're absolutely right. I'm actually a former educator, so I can absolutely agree with you with regard to all that's going on right now, hearing from educators, hearing from clinicians and providers and all sorts of experts. When we don't hear from parents, when we don't hear from that family piece and that caregiver piece, we are missing something. So that's terrific that you're doing that. Now, are these sessions virtual? Are they open to the public? How do people get and I know we're going to share contact information soon. I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but I'm just curious if they're virtual.
Yes, right now the sessions are virtual. We send out like an email blast to our various networks and parents and our point of contacts at various schools. We send out the flyer, and then embedded in the flyer is a registration link where parents have the opportunities to go on to register. And then a few days prior to the session, I send out the credentials for those sessions, just to ensure, one, for virtual safety, that everyone that's registered has the link, and we don't want any unwarranted, people coming in just messing up the vibe and the flow that we have for those sessions. So once they have the opportunity to go in and register, once again, I send them the credentials for those meeting times.
That's perfect. Thank you. And we'd be happy to help push those out in the future. Just saying. So that would be great. So thanks, Ken. Dr. White, can I go back to you? Can you tell a little bit about, you mentioned it earlier, the academic learning pods.
Yeah.
Talk about what that model is and what it includes.
Yeah, thanks, Annie. So again, as I alluded to in my opening comments, we were really concerned with the impending negative impact of school closures. Under the auspices of the DRJC, along with the United Way of Delaware, we moved quickly to align with school districts statewide and with 21 community-based organizations to put in place 27 learning pods to recruit children and provide direct access to computers, internet, and critical wraparound supports, where young people were able to remain engaged with their classwork in a safe, supervised environment. These features are incredibly important, specifically in underserved communities where some of our youth are at risk of falling into an ever-widening education gap.
Sure. And I know that as part of that work, there's some piece of SEL embedded. And maybe to those viewers who might not be familiar with SEL, can you speak to what that is and then how that kind of plays a part?
Yeah, absolutely. We know that social and emotional learning changes lives. Studies show that social and emotional learning delivers long-term improvements in skills, behavior, and academic performance while reducing anxiety, depression, and substance abuse. SEL competencies are also critically important for long-term success in today's economy. Now, Annie, we know you get it, but we know that many members of our community don't know about social and emotional learning yet.
Yeah, and it is such an important piece. I love that educators and those who are working in youth serving organizations are becoming more and more connected to those competencies. And as Delaware continues to learn more too, we'll be doing even more around SEL. Now, I'm guessing that based on the work you're doing and based on the way that we've promoted this video, the people who are watching today are probably either or educators or parents or caregivers or in some sort of youth serving organization. How might they connect to the great work that you're doing? How might they learn how to bring that to their young people?
Yeah, absolutely. Partnerships are informing the next focus for the work that we are doing within Delaware, so that students and families really have the coherence on the most promising options and the skills that are necessary to enter pathways at the next level. I spoke a little bit about the Learning Pod Collaborative, but I want to call out the focus on social and emotional learning, programming, and engagement. The SEL participation portion of the Learning Pod programming was mandatory at the majority of our sites. We're really proud to say that not only for our students, but we provided trauma-informed training and PD for staff to support SEL programming. There was mental health, abuse, and neglect identification in partnership with Jewish Family Services. And across our Learning Pod Collaborative, which served over 700 students, 94% of those 700 kids were participating in some form of social and emotional learning and engagement. So if there's an opportunity or an interest in gaining more information, we would encourage everyone that's going to be watching this video to call our hotline, Delaware 211, and press 4 for homework help and more. It's a great opportunity to not only learn about the pods, but a myriad of resources and supports that can benefit families throughout the state of Delaware.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, to reach out to you individually for the specific programs, is there a direct line or emails we can use, or what would be easiest?
Yeah, I know for me to be able to get in touch with myself, the best way would be email. Anyone can reach me at klivingston@uwde.org.
Great.
Right. And same as for me as well, you'll be able to reach me via email at owhite, like the color, at uwde.org.
Great. I have a feeling you're going to be receiving some emails as a result of this video. All right, before we wrap up, I have one more question for each of you, and it's really going to be the same question with all the guests that are doing this discussion series with us. And here it is. If you could offer one message of hope or advice or a reminder to those watching today as we begin a new back to school season, what would it be?
I think for me, one piece of advice that I would like to offer to students, to parents, to educators, to community members is just to show one another just an extra dose of love. We've come through some trying times through this pandemic, and to some degree, we're not out of it yet. But in order to ensure that everyone is going to have a safe school year, we just need to show each other an extra dose of love and just understanding that everyone has gone through this pandemic differently. And the only way that they're going to help each other through it is continue showing support. And once again, that extra dose of love.
Thank you. Dr. White?
Yeah, I think Ken exited it perfectly, but I'll piggyback that. And I would tell them, as you continue to move forward, remember that you and those around you will require an unprecedented amount of understanding, compassion, and patience. This is uncharted territory for everyone. And it's okay not to have all the answers all the time. There also exists a unique opportunity to reimagine both our personal and academic approaches and refocus our resolve. Because as Malcolm X famously stated, tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Let me be the first to congratulate you all on the journey you are embarking on and impress upon you how incredibly proud I am of your efforts. It may not be the normal start we all expected, but it is certainly no less special of an accomplishment.
Wow, thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure to share this brief time with you. I hope we can do this again soon and hear more about the great programming you're offering at United Way. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.